The readings for today, Sunday, 5th January 2025, Epiphany of the Lord, center around the revelation of God's glory to all nations, the universality of Christ's mission, and the call to worship the true King. They highlight the themes of light overcoming darkness, the inclusion of all the people in God's salvation, and the response of worship and adoration in God's divine plan. And this is Catholic Daily Inspire. 5 minutes daily readings, quotes, and analysis. I'm your host, Ilechukwu Alex. Good morning. Isaiah proclaims a vision of light and glory in the first reading from Isaiah chapter 60, verses 1 to 6, where God's presence transforms darkness into brilliance. The prophecy foretells the gathering of nations and the offering of gifts as the sign of reverence and acknowledgement of God's greatness. God's light draws all people to Him, offering hope and joy even in times of darkness. As followers, we are called to reflect this light in our lives. Today's Psalm of Psalm 72 describes the reign of a just and righteous king whose rule brings peace and prosperity to all nations. This ruler saves the poor, uplifts the needy, and establishes justice for all. God's kingdom is marked by justice, compassion, and care for the marginalized. The psalm invites us to pray for our leaders who embody these virtues and to work towards a world of fairness and peace. Paul reveals the mystery of God's plan. Salvation is not limited to the Jews, but extended to all nations in the second reading from Ephesians chapter 3, verses 2 to 3a, 5 to 6. Gentiles are now co-heirs of the promise, united as one body in Christ. God's grace is inclusive, breaking down barriers between people. We are called to embrace unity and share the gospel with all, regardless of backgrounds or culture. In today's gospel of Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 to 12, we can see that the visit of the wise men symbolizes the recognition of Christ's kingship by all nations. Guided by a star, they bring gifts that signify Jesus' divine nature, priesthood role, and sacrificial death. Their journey contrasts with the Herod's hostility and fear of losing power through wisdom leads to Christ. The wise men model faith, humility, and worship, reminding us to seek and honor Jesus as the center of our lives. The readings weave together a vision of God's glory revealed to all nations, emphasizing the light of Christ that dispels darkness. They invite us to reflect on the universal nature of God's salvation, to embrace unity, and to respond with heartfelt worship. Let us, like the wise men, journey towards Christ with faith, bringing humility and devotion. That's it on today's 5 minutes daily readings, the quotes, and analysis. See you next Sunday by 6 a.m. for Sunday, 12th January 2025 for 5 minutes daily reading, quotes, and analysis. This week's program is sponsored by Barcode Connect, your one-stop shop for your daily subscription needs. I'm your host, Ilechukwu Alex. Have a pleasant Sunday. Be prayerful, be inspired. Bye.